Welcome everybody. My name is Julia Zalewska and I'm a Key Account Manager at BCC. I have pleasure to start a webinar with our special German partner, AgileSI. Today we would like to present you how you can ensure the security of the SAP environment through the integration with SIEM applications. Please be known that our webinar is recorded and the recording will be available on our channel on YouTube. We will send you the link after the webinar. Please feel free to ask questions. You can put them into the chat window on the right side. We will collect the questions and answer them after the webinar. Here you can see our agenda for today's webinar. We will start with a short introduction of BCC and our German partner, the company AgileSI. After that, we will focus on SIEM software and services in general, what it is actually and how it works. In the next step, you will have the chance to learn more about the AgileSI solution. The last part of our webinar will be devoted to the use case ideas in BASIS and HCM area. In the end, we will try to summarize all the present information during our webinar. So we are ready to start. BCC is an independent consulting company specializing in SAP services, IT outsourcing, and software development. We have been dealing with SAP implementation since 1995. BCC means over 300 employees on board, including about 200 application, business, and technology consultants. We implement projects across the globe and provide services on-site or remotely through a team located in Poland, due to which we offer good value for money. We realize IT outsourcing services based on our own data processing centers, each with an independent technical infrastructure to guarantee a high level of security. 3 competence centers of BCC are BCC SAP Experts, BCC Data Centers, and BCC Software Factory. The first one, that is the SAP Competence Center, provides a full range of services related to SAP systems. BCC Data Centers provides managed hosting, IT collocation, disaster recovery center, and IT outsourcing. The last competence center, that is BCC Software Factory, develops and maintains innovative applications designed to support enterprise processes and collaboration scenarios between business partners. BCC assures everything necessary for preparation to implement SAP and IT solutions in order to carry them out smoothly and to maintain and develop the system according to the company's needs. We offer implementation and training services. We expand SAP functionality by non-standard elements and integrate SAP with other systems. Furthermore, we ensure support in the use and development of the system and outsourcing services. Our experience in implementing all those elements allows BCC to take responsibility for the whole of implementation undertaking. These are the companies which have already trusted us. Since 1995, we have completed several hundred projects in over 400 companies in Poland and in several dozen countries in Europe, Asia, Africa, and America. We focus on providing services to commercial companies and we have experience in all major industries. We specialize in complex projects carried out for the most demanding customers. We treat the fact of our long-term cooperation with many of our customers as a confirmation of the high evaluation of our work. Now we would like to move on smoothly to the introduction of AgileSI company. Our colleagues from Germany prepared the audio version of their parts in webinar presentation, which we are pleased to launch now. Let our partner from AgileSI take the floor now.
Thank you, Julia. My name is Oliver Kirschnick and I'm the Business Development Manager of AgileSI. AgileSI as a product was originally developed by IT Cube Systems, a Munich-based company with 15 years of strong IT security focus. IT Cube Systems is a system integrator with broad experience gained by more than 70 realized SIEM integrations at various customers throughout various branches. During these integrations, customers frequently asked about the possibility to integrate SAP into the Security, Information and Event Management System called SIEM. This was the origin of AgileSI as a product. Today, AgileSI Limited acts independently from ITcube Systems as a software vendor. And now let me hand over to the colleagues from BCC to explain you in greater detail how a SIEM solution looks like and works.
Thank you, Olivier. My name is Rafał Grześkowiak. I am IT Projects Team Leader at BCC. I'm going to briefly introduce you to a Security Information and Event Management System, or SIEM. I will show what it is and why we need it. First, SIEM is a software or appliance. Sometimes it is also available in cloud environment, in an as-a-service model. It is designed to collect and aggregate logs from various sources. In general, these can be servers, applications, databases, network devices, users' activity logs, and actually any type of other information that can be parsed, for example by regular expressions. Then, all the information is analyzed in search for common attributes, to provide added value and show relationships between the events. If the correlated events suggest an issue, an alert can be raised. Alerts are shown on a dashboard or can be integrated with external systems, like ticketing system or email. Later, we will show how emails can be used to respond to security alarms. In addition, regular reports can be automatically prepared to process periodic audits or confirm compliance with the existing regulations. Finally, as we use SIEM and have all of the logs saved in it, we can quickly analyze information security issues. SIEM system is a key element in every security operations center. It is actually necessary for reliable security management in each organization. Examples of SIEM usage will be shown later in this webinar. We will show use cases with Splunk Enterprise, which is one of the world's leading solutions. But if you already have other SIEM systems like HP ArcSight, IBM QRadar, or Logpoint, we could implement nearly the same features in all of these systems. Now, Olivier and Christoph from AgileSI will show you what information from SAP system can be sent to SIEM.
Hello everybody, this is Oliver Kirschneck from AgileSI again. The mission of AgileSI is to integrate SAP into the central security monitoring of an organization, which is the SIEM system. In classic SIEM environments, security devices, logs from databases, or network devices are integrated in the central monitoring. On the right-hand side, we see the devices that originally forward security information to classic SIEM solutions. But SAP could not be integrated into that real-time monitoring. AgileSI, as a bridging technology, enabled SAP for the first time to be part of that central monitoring, providing the missing link between these two technologies. The blind spot in IT security related to SAP systems could be eliminated by AgileSI. In this slide, we want to show you the product portfolio and roadmap for our product AgileSI. What we will actually demonstrate today is this one part of the gray area to monitor SAP ABAP system compliance and business application runtime. In addition, we recently have finished the SAP HANA security package as well as a SAP Java security package. We already have created client-specific applications for use cases, extractors and controls based on custom requirements for and from our clients. We are in progress to integrate user and entity behavior analytics capabilities with an external solution called Exabeam. We are in parallel working with partners like BCC on module-specific SAP security package like HCM, oil and gas, banking, as well as SAP BASIS security. This roadmap demonstrates the great flexibility and optional capabilities of configuration based on the extraction technique of our solution. My colleague, Christoph Aschauer, will now show you the technical components of our solution.
Hello everybody. This slide is to explain you how our solution AgileSI works for SAP ABAP systems. Our technology is based on 3 components. First component is the AgileSI agent component. It will be installed on the SAP system that need to be monitored, such as SAP ECC, HCM, Business Warehouse, or other SAP solutions and modules. The agent is installed via the STMS Transport Management System and consists of 15 data extractors for all security-relevant SAP data sources. Second component is the AgileSI core, which will be installed on a separate SAP system. This component is to configure the entire solution. Furthermore, the core system stores all the information and events sent by the agent systems in a central log file. This log file gets pushed forward to the SIEM solution immediately. The third component is the AgileSI content package for SIEM solutions. This content package contains SAP Secure Intelligence for SIEM systems. The content package consists of rules listening to the incoming events such as SAP system and data changes and many other sources. The rules will then analyze the incoming events, separating the signals from the noise and differ right from wrong, and will alert and inform about misconfiguration or suspicious behavior in dashboards, alerts, or reports. In our next slide, the SAP security sources and the SIEM content will be explained. On the left-hand side, the SAP security sources are listed, which AgileSI agent component provides extractors for. There are extractors to pull information from logs, configuration files, or database table records. Covering system compliance aspects and security-related aspects, these extractors pull information from SAP system settings, user behavior and user activity, like data changes, system maintenance, read access of data, and ABAP coding. The SIEM-specific content package provides detection use cases derived from guidelines, such as the DSAG audit guidelines, which is the German-speaking SAP user group, SAP security recommendations, and practical proven knowledge of AgileSI SAP security specialists. AgileSI comes predefined with a set of these use cases for data extraction and analysis in SIEM. Both data extractors and SIEM content can be customized and configured, as well as new use cases can be easily set up, as we will see in the use cases BCC will demonstrate later. The revolutionary aspect of this solution is the automated control of the business application runtime. With the help of a SIEM solution, the level of automation to monitor SAP systems can be raised at the same time as the scope of inspection can be increased. Solutions like the SAP Solution Manager or SAP GRC will require manual supervision of reports, whereas AgileSI adds secure intelligence to a machine and a machine account and a solution which can continuously monitor and react automated by triggering the remediation cycle whenever incidents are detected. The fields of application and value proposition is shown as follows. We see the fields of application and value proposition in 3 major fields. First of all, in the area of SAP operations, where system compliance, SAP work processes logs, and wide SAP landscapes can be controlled and monitored, as well as critical deviations from predefined parameters can be easily reported. A second wide area of application is the possibility of AgileSI to extract more or less any type of data stored in an SAP system in form of table data or reports. This ability creates unlimited new scenarios that are combining not only security-related data, but also critical business processes data. Just to mention an example, the monitoring of critical production parameters like temperature, which is not supposed to exceed certain boundaries, could be forwarded and monitored in SIEM. The third and classic field of application covers security log management and monitoring, where all security-related data sources are retrieved by our solution and customers benefit from the predefined AgileSI security intelligence packages for SIEM. The most interesting use cases customers can generate are the ones whenever SAP activity and events are cross-correlated with events from classic IT security devices or network devices, or even identity or physical access control. Possible use cases are to use the SIEM system's capabilities and reach back to the SAP systems, for example, to change the audit trail or to generate automated reports. Another example is to cross-correlate user ID, MAC, and IP addresses to verify logon identities, or to get transparency of VPN access from, for example, suspicious geolocations. I'd like to hand over to BCC again for the further processing of the webinar.
Thank you, Christoph. My name is Dariusz Kurkiewicz. I am SAP BASIS Implementation Team Leader at BCC. In SAP BASIS use case, user-RED will try to retrieve SAP client data, SAP mandant data in other words. SAP client stores user data, customizing data and transactional data of the whole company or group of companies. From this point of view, client data are extremely critical. SAP transaction SCC8 performs a client export to the disk. To view the logs of previously made exports, SAP system provides a transaction SCC3. And finally, a transaction AL11 finds export files on SAP directories. SAP client data can be sent from SAP application server to the workstation of Mr. Red using a transaction CG3Y. Transactions specified for SAP BASIS use case, I mean client export, client logs, SAP directories, and download file, should hit a blacklist of critical transactions in AgileSI system. SIEM system receives log with blacklisted transaction codes from AgileSI system. SIEM system, after receiving the log from AgileSI system about using the transaction CG3Y, download file, sends an email to Ms. Green. Ms. Green works in Security Operations Center. Ms. Green terminates download file performed by Mr. Red. In the end, Ms. Green calls Mr. Red to clarify the situation. Now I show a SAP BASIS use case in BCC demo systems. There is an administration panel of AgileSI system in SAP WebDyn Pro. I use standard AgileSI extractor to define the blacklist of critical transaction codes. I navigate to extractor management. I navigate to extractor transaction monitoring. Here you can create a blacklist of critical transactions. They are already there as I created them earlier. SAP client export, download file, and so on. Here you can filter blacklisted SAP programs and reports. And SAP function modules as well. From now, AgileSI system sends logs to SIEM system after running the indicated SAP transactions. Now I simulate activity of Mr. Red in SAP system. transaction subclient transport log, exports of client data, 5 previously made exports. Let's take the first one from the list. Now Mr. Red checks the name of the transport request with subclient data. Then he navigates to the transaction subdirectories. Transport requests are created in directory USR subtrans. Mr. Red finds the file of required transport. Finally, Mr. Red starts to download file and attempts to retrieve sensitive company data. Now I simulate activity of Miss Green. SIEM system sends an email to Miss Green on the use of subtransaction CG3Y. Miss Green goes directly to the SIEM system from email message content. Splunk as SIEM. User Red. Subtransaction code CG3Y. Download file from directory USR subtrans is a critical issue. Miss Green uses transaction user sessions in subsystem. Finding user session of Mr. Red. Termination of the session. Mr. Red gets the subsystem message that data retrieving is stopped. Miss Green tries to call him, but in the real world, the sub-user of Mr. Red in many cases no longer belongs to Mr. Red, because the sub-account may have been hacked. In this case, it is necessary to find network address of alleged Mr. Red in SIEM system, to correlate sub and network events to find the hacker. But that's a story for next slides of this webinar.
Thank you, Dariusz. It's Rafał again. We have just seen how the real-time log analysis and alerting can protect sensitive data in SAP system from leakage or unauthorized export. Each similar case should be treated as an information security incident. In order to recognize the reason and increase security in the future, we need to conduct a detailed analysis of the sequence of events that led to this incident. As you know, IT infrastructure can be very complex, especially in large organizations. What's more, different teams manage SAP systems, operating systems, network devices, or information security. There can be also various locations where all the devices are physically installed. And finally, users can work remotely, for example, from home office. All of these conditions could make the security management complicated, time-consuming, or even unsuccessful. Let's take a look how we can simplify this process. Please note that a user who connects remotely leaves traces of his activity. We collect all the traces from every single IT device, including network equipment and SAP systems, and export the logs to SIEM system in the real time. Once we have all the information in a central database, we can correlate them and get a report. SIEM is a highly customizable tool, so the reports can be prepared exactly for the specific needs of each organization. In our use case, I'm going to show you how to investigate the real network source address of the Red user's session. Let's switch to our SIEM. Now, we are in the Search and Reporting module of Splunk. As you can see, we have already over 35 million events that have been collected for 2 months. Manual searching through so many records would take ages. Fortunately, I have already defined a short report. Let's go to the relevant section of Splunk and find a position called SAP Data Export Forensic Analysis. Just click on it, and within seconds, the SIEM does the job for me. Splunk is now searching the logs from all available sources and correlating appropriate records. In a moment, we should have here a list of all users who called suspicious transactions in SAP, together with traces logged by network devices. And here it is. The report starts with the SAP user who caused the security issue. We already know this user from the previous part of presentation. In the next 3 columns, we can see the details of the system, its hostname, system ID, and the instance. We have also the time and read user's network address. This report uses the time, please note 1024, and the network address to correlate SAP issue with events from other sources. In the next column, we can see that the user started a session through a firewall a minute earlier, at 10:23. From the firewall's point of view, this was a proper session, as the traffic was permitted by policy number 53. So, let's move on. In the next column, we learn that at 10:22, there was an SSL VPN session established. But note, user red used someone else's account to connect with the VPN. This needs further investigation because probably user's credentials were stolen. The internal IP address matches, and finally, we can see what was the source network address of our intruder. Now, let's go back to our topology diagram and summarize what we have learned thanks to our report from Splunk. Having all the information from SIEM applied to our diagram, we can easily understand the sequence of events preceding the unauthorized export of data. Next, we can proceed and talk with all the users and system engineers to determine the cause of the incident. Finally, we can implement higher security procedures or train employees to avoid similar incidents in the future. Okay, that's all from SAP BASIS use case. Thank you. Now we will proceed with the second use case. My colleague will present you another inspiring way to use AgileSI and SIEM to detect suspicious user activities in HR module. Adam, please continue.
Thanks, Rafał. Hi, this is Adam Decker, Senior SAP HCM Consultant at VCC. SAP HCM module, like other SAP modules, utilizes transactions, reports, tables, and authorization system. Here we would like to show how SIEM can aid monitoring a very specific HCM transaction, which can be performed by users with a high level of authorization. The user must be aware of the striking power of this transaction, to say it colloquially. We are talking about the PU01 transaction, deleting payroll results. This transaction allows to remove a single set of payroll results from PCL2 and interrelated tables. This transaction is not usually performed, but for some specific circumstances, it may be necessary to use it. The PU01 transaction can be called an emergency transaction. What are the risks of running this transaction? Deleting payroll results, which have already been processed, will lead to data inconsistency. In such case, the annual tax summary for an employee will contain false data, which would be a huge risk for a company. In the scenario presented here, Exemplary enterprise security procedures say that only one user is authorized to use PU01 transaction without the right to transfer this authorization to another person. Additionally, this chosen user is not allowed to connect to the system remotely when executing PU01 transaction. SIEM registers every occurrence of PU01 usage. However, it creates an alert only when it finds out that the user is out of office at the moment. That could mean that the access and password has been transferred to an unauthorized person or has been stolen. In our case, the employee Jan Agile has payroll results in PCL2 table until December 2016. We can check that using report HPLCL-STR. Now, the SAP user Mysliborski2 executes the PU01 transaction and deletes payroll results for employee Jan Agile for November 2016. Let's have a look on how this is done. We log into SAP, execute PU01 transaction, pick personal number 2 as we know as this is employee Jan Agile. After execution, we see a list of payroll results. In this case, payroll result for November 2016. We select this, click delete. We have a confirmation pop-up. We want to continue, and we get the message that the payroll result was deleted. Now we know that payroll results for November 2016 for employee Jan Agile were deleted by user Mysliborski2. However, we do not know if the user Mysliborski2 is in the office. Luckily, our company uses an access control system to give entrance to company premises for employees. Employees, while entering the building, use access cards to pass. The information about who and when has entered and left the building is passed to SIEM via a text file. From this information, SIEM can easily check if an employee is in the office. SIEM system can correlate this information from SAP and access control system to make sure that the company's security policy is followed. The PU01 transaction is on AgileSI so-called blacklist. The usage of this transaction is registered by AgileSI extractors and transferred to SIEM. SIEM system obtains information from the access control system, which allows to find out if the employee is in or out of the office at the moment. SIEM generates an alert if it finds out the PU01 transaction has been performed by a user who is currently out of office. The security officer is alerted that company's security policy was violated due to execution of PU01 transaction while the user was not present in the office. This may mean that the user connected to the system remotely, which is not allowed, or that his or her account is being used by some other person. Moreover, it's possible to analyze the frequency of PU01 usage by the security team because every use of PU01 is logged. The alert sent to the security officer is in the form of an email, as we saw earlier for the BASIS use case. Let's see what information can we extract from this alert for HR purposes. The security officer receives an email with the alert from SIEM. The message says that the alert condition PU01 out of office was triggered because the user was not in the office, which violates internal security procedures. As the security officer doesn't need to remember the details of every alert condition, he or she clicks on the link View Results for details. This link opens a session in SIEM system, in this case Splunk, where detailed information about the user's activity can be obtained. The description can be found in column SI message. Here, we can find out that the user Mysliborski2 executed report RP-CDPU01 via transaction code PU01 on system AGS100. The security officer may not be an expert in HR and may not know every report name and transaction code. He or she can check what this information means in column SI use case, which contains the use case description, in this case, payroll results deletion. In the column _time, we can see the date and time of this activity. Furthermore, as stated earlier, every use of PU01 transaction is logged. The security officer may navigate to search forms and transaction monitoring. Here, he or she can check the usage of PU01 transaction by filling in PU01 in SAP T-code field and, let's say, for the last 24 hours. As we can see, here we have two instances for PU01 usage. One for user Myśliborski2, for which we have received an alert, and the second one for user Deckard A. We did not receive an alert for this usage, as apparently the user was in the office at the time. At this point, we have shown two working use cases, one for BASIS and one for HR. However, the cooperation of SAP and SIEM systems connected via AgileSI extractors has very much more to offer. Due to a limited time frame, I would like to explain two more use case ideas which can be achieved with AgileSI. First, data leakage detection. Thanks to AgileSI's read access log extractor, we can continuously monitor read access of sensitive data, in this case, employee address data. This can be correlated with the user's location or time of the activity to create alerts. The second example is excessive roles assignment. AgileSI provides a special extractor which runs every 12 hours to check for excessive roles or authorization objects assigned to users. This is very important, as often during implementation and rollout projects, it is necessary to provide wide access to project team members in order to complete project tasks. However, once the project is over, the authorizations should be limited to normal operation setup. This step is easily forgotten, but with the role extractor from AgileSI, the security team will be reminded about the excessive roles assigned to some users. Back to Christoph from AgileSI.
Hi, this is Christoph again. I'd like to summarize with the presentation of some key benefits of AgileSI. First of all, AgileSI provides transparency to many stakeholders. Not only the SAP department can benefit from the new ways of monitoring their SAP systems. Special reports and dashboards can be designed for the management to cover the various interests in SAP data. Incidents can be transferred automatically into tickets of a ticketing system. The Security Operations Center is able to monitor SAP in correlation with the network, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Internal audit can benefit from continuous reporting and almost real-time alerts. And the process of external audits can dramatically be improved and shortened by the storage of critical reports and their resolution. In addition to that, I'd like to recap on topics like AgileSI provides continuous and automated monitoring of SAP systems, system compliance, and security-relevant information and events. The security intelligence package and the use cases are ready to use after installation. The entire SAP system landscape can centrally be monitored in SIEM in correlation with the classic IT. Attacks, fraud, as well as data privacy violations or privilege abuse can be detected, and the capabilities of a SIEM system to respond to incidents can be used. All this will allow a holistic security monitoring of the business application runtime of SAP systems powered by SIEM technology. Finally, I'd like to thank BCC for organizing this webinar, and thanks to the audience for participating. I'll pass on to BCC for their summary.
Thank you, Christoph. Hi everybody, this is Dariusz again. Let's look at AgileSI from implementation point of view. Firstly, use cases. A SAP user tries to retrieve sensitive SAP data using critical transactions, programs, reports, or function modules, which are blacklisted in AgileSI system. This type of activity can be made in any SAP module: financials, human resources, sales, logistics. Output data may vary: Microsoft Office files or the contents of SAP tables stored in SAP transports. The environment of tens of SAP systems and hundreds of SAP users behind them really need the use of AgileSI and SIEM systems for security management. Secondly, AgileSI system fills SIEM system with security logs, and SIEM system can detect and analyze anomalies in SAP users' behavior. SIEM collects security logs from other sources, like firewalls and third-party software. Therefore, we can correlate data from different sources to respond proactively to threats. Thirdly, if SAP user of any particular module, say HR, starts using intensively transaction, program, report, or function module which has so far not been used or been used occasionally, this raises a question: why? Does SAP user try to change the SAP data to achieve private gain? SIEM systems present such analysis in dashboards provided by AgileSI. SIEM system can of course send notification of SAP security issues to mobile devices. What convinces me personally to consider the security of SAP systems using AgileSI and SIEM? There is a very simple installation, customization, and intuitive operation. So, at the end of the day, we are confident that SAP systems are incorporated into the universal security management of IT environment. Let's take a look at security incident on AgileSI dashboard in SIEM. Download of data. "30 days time frame. User read as we expected. Visualization using quick reports on the timeline. Let's change to the pie chart. User read has abused download file, and this is a violation of security in subsystems. If you have subsystems and want to improve their level of security, why not consider connecting them to SIEM system via AgileSI system? AgileSI and BCC offer tools and implementation of sub-security management using AgileSI and SIEM systems. Thank you very much for your attention. We are looking forward to common security management projects.